What's going on YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin, Litecoin, and XRP. Those are the three we're going to be going over today. Guys, what I want to speak to you about here with Bitcoin, as you can see we've been talking about, we're in that equilibrium pattern, and still right now I believe it's that no trade zone until we get some confirmation. But what I like to see is some volume right now is stepping in, and what we're on here is the 4-hour time frame, and what you can see now is we're getting basically crammed between this red downtrend line. That is very important. We've been having lower highs here, and we've also been having higher lows, and we've been holding the support of around 6,749. So we're having that squeezing effect. And guys, now basically any day or any hour, we could either have that massive break to the upside, which we'd need a lot of volume to really get over top of $7,500. That's going to be the key for us, is getting up over that area with a strong trend line break. Okay, so that's going to be to the upside, and to the downside, we have to find support at this 6,749. If we drop below that, then we could really start looking at much lower levels, guys. Even down around $5,800 would be an area I'd be looking at to find support. But I do like that the bulls are stepping in right in this area now. The key is going to be to close up above this red trend line and keep this moving. As you can see here, we've also found support off this 200-day moving average in white off the 4-hour time frame. But whenever you get this squeezing effect where you're having one of these equilibrium patterns, you have to be patient and you have to wait until we find direction. We really need to find that direction. And to the upside, there's a lot of things going for Bitcoin in terms of, like we've talked about, the potential halving coming up. That's something that you can factor in. I don't know how significant or not it's going to be. Also, we have a CME futures gap at around $9,600. A lot of the times gaps do like to fill. They don't always have to fill, but a lot of times they do fill. So that's something we're definitely looking at. And guys, even if we did break up, just to give you a little bit of an example here, if my chart will cooperate with me, if we do have a strong breakout out of here, that could potentially take us back up to around that $10,500 level. That's how powerful a trend line break could be. And also, if we filled that gap around 9,600, that almost puts us in that $10,000 range, and that would be a trend line break. That's right in that target area that we could potentially end up getting to. So that's definitely something that I'm going to keep my eye on as the day continues to go, because right now we're basically running directly into this red upper resistance line. And now what we have to get through, though, guys, is about that 7,300. Then it's going to be that 7,500. And remember, with trend line breaks, what you want to look for is that 3% candle close up above that trend line on heavy volume to show that it's a true breakout. It's just not one of those false breakouts like you can see back here, guys. Look how long this wick is. It looked like we were going to continue up. We broke over top of this resistance here, and then we basically sold back off. So you don't want to be fooled by those fake breakouts either, and I think that's the importance of waiting for confirmation. But Bitcoin in this equilibrium, I think the patient people, the people who have been patient with this, are going to be the ones who are rewarded. But for me, I'm looking at 6,400 is critical support. If we do drop down through this 6,749, I think that's going to be key. The volume was drying up. We're starting to get a little bit more volume now, and that's typical as you get in these equilibrium patterns, because all traders, just like myself, are sitting back waiting for the next move. We're waiting to see if we can get over top of some of these key overhead resistance areas, and if we can get a trend line break, which would be very important. And that may let us run, guys, $1,000, $2,000. It just depends on what Bitcoin's going to do and what type of volume comes in with that. So that's very important, and you can just see how we're coiling up now. We're having that fight between the bulls and the bears back and forth. We've been holding key support levels, and we've also been rejected at key overhead resistance levels. And like we said here, guys, if we ended up stopping right now and we saw rejection where we're at on this 4-hour time frame, all that would be is a lower high. Then we'd come back down and we would still be working in this equilibrium, but we're getting squeezed between $6,800 and about that $7,500. That's that squeezing effect, and the break's going to come. I promise you the break's going to come. I can't tell you for sure yet if it's going to be to the upside or the downside, because we have a lot of mixed factors going on. We have this long overall red downtrend that we've been dealing with in the macro sense for 3 years, guys. We've been in a downtrend, but in terms of the intermediate trend here, as we've continued to move up, we have been in an intermediate term uptrend and now chopping back and forth in this equilibrium pattern. So that's definitely something I'm going to be paying attention to, and I'm going to be watching this red trend line extremely it's extremely tight. I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to that, and this $7,500 is the area as well that we're really going to need to get up above. Then we can start moving up into some higher levels. But Bitcoin's getting coiled up now, and I think it's the time to really put some alerts and alarms in. We're going to put one for Bitcoin up at 7,297. I want to be alerted if we get up into that area, so I can start looking at potential upside targets. And then to the downside, I want to put one right here on this horizontal ray that I have, and that's going to be at 6,749. You guys remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just going off the technicals. I'm looking at the buying and the selling pressures right now, and that's what we do. We always have a plan for the upside, and we always have a plan for the downside. And if you get some from these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you all being here with me today, and we're going to move into Litecoin next. So that was Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. Those are the areas that I'm going to be paying very close attention to. So let's move into Litecoin next. Take a look at this, see what's going on. And with Litecoin, we're closing in on about $42 right now. So Litecoin's made a little bit of a move here recently. Litecoin as well, as we've talked about now, we're basically getting in that squeezing symmetrical triangle. We're having higher lows, so the buyers are stepping in here, and we're having those lower highs that we've been dealing with. And as we chop back and forth, we're going to get to that decision point to where, are we going to break up over top of $44.34 and then come up here and challenge that $47.12, then potentially make it up to that $51? That's definitely a possibility if we do get a nice strong break out of the symmetrical triangle. To the upside, it's going to need to come on volume. In terms of to the downside, if we start breaking out of here, I want to see $38.88 hold number one, and then it'd be down here roughly about that $36.94, and we just keep working our way down. $35.43, then it could be all the way down into that $30.19. But right now, as you can see, the trend still is up. We are putting in those higher lows, and what we need to do is get that nice little breakout. But this is the equilibrium pattern that I'm still paying attention to, and I'm waiting to see what we do, because a lot of things are predicated off Bitcoin. You always have to remember that. You know, a lot of times Bitcoin dumps, Litecoin's going to dump as well, guys, and that's just the name of the game. But we are having a nice strong candle on the 4-hour coming in here, coming on a little bit more volume, and we're going to have to see where that ends up closing. We got about another hour to see where this closes. Right now, if it closed like that, it'd be basically a bullish belt hold line candle, which is fairly strong there on the 4-hour time frame. But still, we have that upper overhead resistance of 43.08. 43.74, and then it would be up here around that 46.80. So that's something that I'm going to be looking at there. And then on the 4-hour, we're going to take a few looks here at the indicators. We're going to go into our relative strength first, just see what that's looking like. You can see we are building some strength there with the volume coming in. Our RSI is starting to move to the upside here. In terms of the RSI, resistance would be at 54, and then it's going to be up here around 67.37 is going to be the key for us there. And then I want to take a look at our stock RSI. I really like playing the stock RSI on the 4-hour time frame. I think it's a great one for us. So stocks at 76 and 62, still plenty of room. We had a nice bullish cross down in this area right here, a little bit of a harami pattern, and now we've still been moving to the upside. We have not had that downside cross yet. So just really look upstairs for those key overhead resistances, guys. Like I said, at about 43.74 is going to be the key, and then it's going to be up there roughly around that 46.84 is going to be the areas that I'm looking at. But right now things are looking a little bit better because we're starting to get some of that volume, and it's moving into the upside, and we're putting in those higher lows. We do have buyers stepping in this area, so that's something that I do like to see for us. So that's Litecoin, guys. You're part of the Litecoin family. Hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and then we'll move into XRP next. Want to take a look at this as well. I know a lot of people are interested in XRP. I haven't got to do it in a while, so we'll throw some charts up here for XRP, and you can kind of see the chart that I was looking at for XRP. And I was paying attention to trend line breaks and everything. A lot of this is invalid now, but I'll just zoom out to show you. So this was our trend line, our main trend line. We had a trend line break right here, and since then, same deal like with Bitcoin and Litecoin. We've really been chopping in this equilibrium pattern, just fighting back and forth. For XRP, what we need to do, we need to get up over, we'll call it 0.19603 is going to be the area of overhead resistance. We've hit it twice, right up in this range here, and then it's going to be up around, we'll call it 20 cents is going to be the key spot for us. And we could start looking up to that 0.21413, and then it'd be that 0.24612 if we do have strong upside breaks here. What can even move is this right out to here, Just like that, guys. And what you can kind of see is for XRP, in a way, we're almost in one of those little descending triangles here on the 4-hour time frame. We have a horizontal bottom, we have lower highs for the top. We could still chop back in here, but we do need to pay attention to that because we have the lower highs coming in. We have a little bit more of a flat bottom, and typically about 70% of the time descending triangles can break to the downside. About 30% of the time they'll break to the upside. But right now, guys, that's not something I'm really paying too much attention to. I'm more so paying attention to this chop back and forth for us. And to the downside, I wouldn't want to lose 0.17853 is going to be a support area that we've bounced off several times, and that would also correlate with our 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame here at 0.17964 is going to be the area for us here. And then I wanted to throw on our 50 moving average as well, take a look at that, and we're running directly into it right now. So that's an overhead resistance that we do need to candle close up above. But overall for XRP, I'm looking at us to hold, guys, around that almost 18 cents, this area right down here in red. And then to the upside, we definitely have to get over top of that 0.19548, and then it'll be up above that 0.20382 is what I'm going to be looking at. And in terms of the indicators, we're going to take a look here at our relative strength. Relative strength's at 54, plenty of room to run to the upside. We're starting to make a nice little move to the upside there. In terms of RSI, overhead resistance, we're going to be looking at about 65 there. So we could have some more room to really push up and start challenging some of these upper areas. I think that would be key for us. And then also, just taking a look at this here, guys, the Dow right now is up 35. A lot of the times when the Dow's been up, Bitcoin's been up, and we've kind of been correlating with the stock market. I know everybody doesn't want to hear that, but that is something that we do need to pay attention to. A lot of times when it's up, we've been up as well, and vice versa. And then these are some of the other coins that I'm looking at. But for XRP right now, if we go into the technical analysis on the 1 day, we're looking at 8 for a sell, 10 neutral, 10 for a buy. Oscillators are 2 sell, 9 neutral, 0 buy, and then moving average is 6 sell, 1 neutral, 10 buy. So as you can see, we're just really having that fight, that equilibrium back and forth between the bulls and the bears, and we just have to see what's going to take place here, which way the market's going to break. So in my opinion, it's still the time to sit back, plan your trades, know what you're going to do if it goes to the upside, know what you're going to do if it goes to the downside, and have a plan and be ready. That's the best thing that I can tell you. So if you like me covering XRP and all these other ones, you get something from this, guys, don't be afraid to like, share, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you being here. See if we can get me over to that 14,000 subscriber mark, get out of that 13,000, and leave that behind us. So I appreciate it. I couldn't do any of this without you guys. God bless. Take care.